Dear friends, welcome to our best practices during UBI advocacy meetings. This is our 5th meeting. In fact, due to thoughts of urgency, this is an additional one out of our timing formula for this series of meetings. Today, our guests are dear Vlady Fidanova and dear Ivan Vassilev, both from Bulgaria. Mrs. Fidanova is a specialist in advertising and marketing communications, and Mr. Vassilev is a specialist in digital marketing. The topic of their presentation is creativity and planning of social media campaigns, including communication strategy, media planning, and execution. As I mentioned, this is an additional meeting of best practices during UBI advocacy meetings. Please keep in mind that our formula regarding the timing of our meetings is still the same. Third Monday of each month at 20 p.m. Central European Time. During the winter time, it corresponds to 19 p.m. GMT. Let me give some information regarding our past meetings. During our first or October meeting, our guest was from Italy, our dear friend Michael Gianella. His presentation topic was social media campaigning for UBI. In November, we had the chance to hear our dear friend Enno Schmidt from University of Freiburg, Germany. Lessons learned from Swiss referendum for UBI was the topic of his presentation, and it was full of lessons as mentioned at the presentation topic. In December, we had the chance to listen to our dear friend Dr. Valeria Korasec from Slovenia, and the topic was Slovenian UBI advocacy experience within the framework of ECI-UBI campaigns 2013 and 2020. Of course, we have to congratulate them regarding their outstanding performance during the ECI campaigns. And lastly, during our January meeting, we had the chance to hear our dear friend Vivian Storlund. She is a member of the Basic Income Networks in Finland and the Netherlands. Her presentation was regarding a valuable book of her entitled Widening Horizons by Mining the Wealth of Creative Thinker. Back to today's meeting, our topic is creativity and planning of social media campaigns, including communication strategy, media planning, and execution. We would like to thank our friends from Bulgaria, dear Vlady Fidanova and dear Ivan Vassilev. And before their presentation, maybe our dear friend Ivailo Kridov, who in fact is the developer of today's meeting, would like to say a few words. Dear Ivailo, word is yours.
Yes, I would like to say that we work together with Vlady for the creative part, and I think also the Ivan will explain something very interesting for all of us. And I have been mentioned many things about this. For me, the most important thing is somehow we to use this year to make all the world to be understanding the situation that we are passing now, and that we need the support from all the world about the European initiative, and also to use the moment all the world to learn about the basic income. This is very important. We work together, the European Union, together with all the other countries in the world. This is from me.
Thank you very much, Ivailo. So the word is yours, Ms. Fidanova and Mr. Vassilev. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Hello to everybody. I'm actually for the first time taking part in this meetings, and it's a pleasure for me to see all of you. I could see people all over the world, maybe even. And thanks to Ivo that invite me to take part in this meeting and actually to work with him. I'm kind of propose myself because I'm really impressed of the idea of unconditional basic income, and I'm doing all this work pro bono, as most of you probably, because I really want and admire this cause and IGM. So I have behind my back around, maybe starts with a few words about me, more than 15 years experience in advertising field and communications here. So just decided to use my experience and help to communicate right the European initiative and universal basic income as whole. So I'm gonna share with you our first stage of communication strategy that we make with EVO. Unfortunately, we have some little delay in with starting it. We already started and we are already roll out, but EVO had a coronavirus, as probably you know, so we have to postpone a little bit the start of the first stage of our campaign. So if you are okay, I could start sharing the presentation and the presentations begin. Okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Just a second to... Okay. Let's start with, of course, first page, European Citizenship Initiative for Unconditional Basic Income. It's at stage 1, as I said. Short outline, what you're gonna see now. It's a little bit overview I'm gonna do, and about how it's going, social tendencies in Bulgarian market, because as you already guess, it's a creative approach and creative presentation just for Bulgaria. Doesn't matter that the first stage that I'm going to present you right now is an image campaign. It's still for just Bulgaria marketing. That's how I was thinking. So positioning, why we need a strategic approach. Of course, what are our goals, target groups, how we're going to do it, communication channels, what's going to be the timeline rollout, creative concepts by itself, like I'm going to show you the key visuals that we did, and digital communication channels. So before we start, I just want to have some words of inspiration. Like, you know, one of my favorite writers, it's Isabel Allende. So he said that poor people don't need charity, they need justice. So I'm glad that all here we are about this, about justice and this beautiful cause. So let's gonna start with our overview about Bulgaria and the situations here and the social tendencies. So the share last data shows that the share of employed people between ages, like active ages 20-64 in Bulgaria is 72.4%. So it's a really high percentage, even already higher than far more rich countries as Luxembourg or France or Spain or Italy. So we are Bulgarians working in active age. But at the same time, in Bulgaria, we have more than 380,000 working people who are poor. And the statistics shows that they are living in permanent poverty. Doesn't matter that they are working. According to World Bank, 10 years ago, this share covered 8% of all employed. Since then, this share rised up with 4% and it continued rising. So our people working, but they're getting more poor and poor, and more people getting poor. Over then, along with this, more than 1,550,000 people in here in Bulgaria, they live below the poverty line. And the poverty line in Bulgaria, probably you know, is less than 200 euro a month. So more than 1.5 million people in Bulgaria live below this monthly income. So maybe with all this, you're gonna think that it's like over 22% of all population in Bulgaria are extremely poor. Maybe you are thinking that our society is gonna embrace happily the idea of unconditional basic income, because I was thinking like that it's gonna be easy to tell people that this basic income is gonna solve all their problems. Unfortunately, not. I don't know what's happening here. Did you see? Sorry. Can I just stop sharing, because one of my visuals just...
Please, you can do whatever you like. I mean,
I'm gonna pause sharing, because
sure.
I could see that I can see one of my visuals in my presentation, so something happened in the file.
Okay.
Yeah. I really don't know why. Let me see if I could share it like this. Maybe, I don't know, did you see it okay like this? Not on full screen? Is it okay like this?
If it is not possible, yes, we will.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, because I don't know why, but my visuals, some of them are just in full screen mode. I can see them.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. So, unfortunately, no. Bulgarians doesn't embrace this idea really warmly. And there is reasons for this. It's like, for example, the last campaign for European initiative was during 2013. So it's like almost 8 years ago. And there was back then there was a big national campaign, and we had ECI-UBI had like a partners, branch organizations like Artists Union, Bulgarian Music Associations, European Anti-Poverty Network, and lots of other, even Bulgarian National Radio was a media partner, and Metro Reklama. So they did really good job back then, 7 years ago. And Bulgaria get more than needed quota of signatures, but it was 7 years ago. And in these 7 years, there was really poor media coverage about European unconditional basic income. If there was some articles, they were mostly negative, and the times are really, really changed, and they changed so much, even during just last year, this pandemic time. So the things, the ways also had to be changed. So we should start thinking about something new. It's like find new ways how to beat this. It's like I'm gonna just show you a small desktop research over Bulgarian media last few months, their articles. You could see how negative are the articles, even in the headlines. I just translated few of them for you, like the ghost of the UBI roams Europe. It doesn't sound, it sounds scary actually. Or unconditional basic income, the emanation of populism and misunderstanding of the market. Or UBI, the economic absurdity. Even more, UBI, another socialist utopia. Or the unconditional basic income, the new communist lie. Or to work or not to work, that is the question. So when you put it this like this, to work or not to work, Bulgarians, we have an old saying, which is like a proverb: he who does not work should not eat. And I'm telling you that they are teaching us this from kids. So our minds is like working like, I can't, I should not, I'm not able to eat if I'm not working. So I'm not gonna, why they're giving me money? There is, without working, there is something really not nice in this idea. So this is like a state of mind that is formed here in Bulgaria since we were kids. And also, one more really important thing, Bulgaria is a post-communist country. So when they are making this parallel between unconditional basic income with communist lie or whatever, we have our wounds during this communism, post-communism. It's like, to be honest, we, like most of the society, just hates the idea of communism. So in front of us, there was two big, at least, problems that we have to, like critical points that we have to find a way how to overcome. And these critical points are to make a distinctive difference and tell the people that it's about to change the old system. This is the old system, communism. Just in point the benefits. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Showing me my internet connection is going down. I hope that you are hearing me and seeing me.
Yeah, we are hearing you, no problem.
Yeah, okay. So show the challenges, points of the benefits, like challenges that are in the future, in really near future, even like digital revolution, artificial intelligence, all this robots, increasing unemployment, of course, COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns and economic crisis after this, freedom of choice and main human rights, to increase awareness and interest in our public, to make people think more, read more, talk more, discuss, asking questions, not just reading the headlines in the mainstream media and saying, yeah, right, the next communism is bullshit. So, and of course, to make a step and support. I mean, to sign the initiative. So, why we decide that we need actually a strategic approach? First, because all over the internet, and even for people who are already know about unconditional basic income, are reading, doing their own researches, all over the internet there is a lot of petitions, and in all these petitions you need to sign up. And when you are signing up this petition, you think, oh, my job is done. But especially in this official European Citizenship Initiative, we decided we have to make a distinctive difference, like between all the other petitions around the world, around the internet, and especially this one, because we need to get our quota. So that's why we need a strategic approach and make a consistency of the messages, consistency of the visuals, to create and maintain an image, positive image, to fight all these mainstream negative messages about UBI. And of course, to provoke an interest and desire for all the rest of the audience that are not so familiar of the idea. And in our main target groups. So let's talk about our main target groups. I grouped them in a few, like six main groups. So first, about active people, mostly urban cities, like living in a big cities, using internet and social media. They are working people, taxpayers. So they are career oriented, and most of them are actually from this previous 72.4% that I told you about, working, but working to survive. It's like poor working people. The next main target group is people of art. By people of art, I'm like pointing all kind of art activity, like actors, musicians, artists, dancers, stage art performers, because this group of people, they are maybe the most harmed from the all lockdowns because of the COVID-19 crisis. So I think that it's and of course they are just a creative people who always want to express themselves. There in this target group you could put even freelancers, writers, myself. For example, I'm working as a freelancer. So the third main target group is, I call them workers, but this is all the hard workers who are endangered of losing their jobs because of the fast robotization digital revolution that is coming. This is like all this honest-looking people. It's a huge numbers. So afterwards, I'm putting major people. These are also this 72.4% of working people, but they are already hit this years, this stage of years, already had a career. They are not so, so like having more than 20 years working already behind their back. So, and they're waiting for their pension. But because all we know that pension system is not so nice, I think that this group is also one of our main targets. Of course, I put some patriots and dreamers here as a target groups. By patriots, I mean like people who love their country and they love Bulgarians. They love people here, and they're disappointed that Bulgarians are going abroad for work. They're disappointed from politicians. They really want to do something about their own country and want just love Bulgaria. So they are not Nazi or something. That's this kind of patriots who just love Bulgaria. And of course, the dreamers. And these are the people who are all about justice and equality. They are really emotional, thinking about unconditional basic income. They don't have their reasons to sign the petition. It's not going to be rational. I mean, the main reasons, it's going to be emotional for them. They're craving for justice. They want equality, humanity. They want to cut the poverty. So they are kind of Miss World dreamers, like want to make the world a better place. So what was our goals, of course, in all this campaign is to maintain and create positive image, to, as I said, awareness, to gain awareness, increase public awareness about the initiative and the benefits of it, to make an emotional connection and to emotionally connect different type of personalities and different type of people from different social areas with this cause and the idea and put a feeling of a community, like we are community, we have one cause, we are coming from different social places or social circles, but our cause is the same. And of course, to take action, to make them, as I said before, read more, talk more over the idea, visit the main page of the initiative, and like be more aware about it and connection to sign it. So we decided to use mainly digital communication channels, like for example, mainly Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, our like the site of the European initiative, podcasts, and some internet TV or TV stations, but not like a main TVC or advertising, just as a PR, more like as a PR. Why? Because the times are like this. Unfortunately, last 1 year, most of our physical activity came online. Even studying school, all the kids are studying at online teaching. So social medias are easy, user-friendly, and they are not bought from the main players. I mean, to use them is okay. And of course, as I said before, we want to tell people that we are, to give them community. The community is easily could get in social media. They are for this. So we made an official page of the European Initiative profile. We have a YouTube channel, and of course, all of them are connected with the, there is a link to the main site of the initiative in the European community. And as I know, Ivo has this conversation with one of the main economic magazines here, which are starting their own podcasts. So in this podcast, we're gonna be partner teams about unconditional basic income. There is why they are modern, up-to-date, sense of community, efficiency, of course, not expensive. They're giving you really great targeting, and you could get good feedback. They're independent, but more about them, I'm sure that Ivan will told you after my presentation. So I'm gonna leave these things to him, and I'm gonna keep on doing with the creative. So what was our decided hours, and we wanted to provoke interest, to provoke thinking, to provoke empathy, connection, and of course support. We and preach them the truth, even it's not pleasant, and we are doing it. We are telling them that they're gonna lose their jobs, and this is something that can't be denied. Not to tell them, not to talk to them about the bright future that it's coming, or telling them this advertising lies or something. Just being honest. People are tired of being lied, and they are all tired about this fake news the last 1 year, and even about this all conspiracy theories that are going around. So we just want to be honest with them. So this is going to be our approach, creative approach. Of course, we wanted to be witty, because this makes our target groups, our audience, to think about themselves as a witty person. And it's easy way of communication, and it's just a nice way to take and grab the attention. And of course, we want to be distinctive. As I said, we need to be first, on one hand, people should make a difference between universal basic income as a cause and idea and communism and socialism, like the mainstream media tried to pursue that we are this. And on the other hand, to be basic, unconditional basic income initiatives all over the world. So that's why this thing should be like straight for the audience. And we decided to have this 3 stages. First one, this image campaign, and started from December till March 2021, and to gain this brand awareness and to start collecting signatures. But the actually, it's more about explaining and gaining awareness and interest, and provoke audience to be interested, not especially to collect signatures. For collecting signatures, we have a stage 2. So it's like production oriented campaign advertising. So it's like it has its own strategic approach. So this is not a matter of this presentation. Maybe later we're gonna do another one presentation for this stage 2. And the stage 3, of course, it's a follow-up campaign, because we think that in this 3 months of the main, like of stage 2, I'm sure we're gonna get more than our quota. If there is more time, why we're not gonna use it? So there is a stage 3, like a follow-up campaign, and we're gonna explain to the people or gain more signatures. So let's go to the stage 1, and with the creative. It's like bright identity and image campaign headline. So to be a distinctive, as I said, from the communism and socialism, we decided to have this headline of the image campaign, that it's time for evolution. And I don't know what could be more distinctive from revolution to evolution, because communism, they came with revolution, and all the things that they did was with the revolution. But unconditional basic income is like a stage higher. We are evolution. We don't need to fight. We need to just make a step and to the next stage of our evolution as human beings, not to fight each other. So, and of course, we choose the brand colors and identity from the main logo, which makes our visuals and designs sustain, connected with the colors of the European Union. And in this way, we are like making us official initiative of the European Union, and distincts us from all the other petitions going over the internet. So under this, let me see. Oh my God. Sorry, I really don't know what's happening. Maybe I'm gonna stop and open the other presentation that I already downloaded on my computer and sharing it in sorry. Okay, again on the on the PDF. Sorry. So okay, and as I said, we made an official page on Facebook, and we made some Facebook covers. This is our main cover of our Facebook page, and I made a few more to change later. You could see unconditional basic income time for and sign up now. Sign up now, and this is like more stages on a change the papers basic income. So Facebook page, the Instagram is the same, so it's like this, and we put this button here, which is leads actually straight to the main site of the initiative, like official site to the European initiative, and people could just sign up and they're gonna go lead to the form and sign up. So we start with a few visuals I made, so provocative. It's time for pollution, areas of it. And you could see I made here a screenshot. We have like 93 comments only for the first day that we shared this. So people are really provoked. They just start writing, asking, what is this? But what do you want to say? But what we actually make them be interested and provoked from these visuals. Of course, along we decided to make a few more visuals, like in 4, and it's like a single message to a different target groups. This is make the first day laid out. So why do we want to take from the workers to give to the unemployed when we can give to everyone? This is kind of new, like I said, target groups. We have taxpayers, workers, patriots, and we have a lot of other community who are in a social assistances living. And they are not so welcome from all the workers, because they are things that their taxpayers tax go to someone who is not working. So that's what we want to say with this, that we are not taking from the people who are working and giving to the people who are not, but we are giving to everybody, to the people who is working and the people who's not working. Basic income is for everybody. Next visual is for the other target group, but the message is the same as like why we are forced to grow only to keep our jobs when we can do it just because we want to. And this message is for the people of art, as I said, this target group, like people who wants to grow, it's like to find their purpose, to write a novel, to be a musician, to explore their talents. So we are just make them ask themselves why you need to do this for you only to keep your job or to raise your payment, but not to improve yourself just because you want to do it. Because you have your basic income and you should not be worried that you are without money. You could improve yourself just because you want to. Of course, there's the major people like the target group with the pension, and because it's a failed social system, we are asking them why we are fighting to save the system, but not to save the people. It's like, is the system is the important thing or the people are the important thing? And of course, I didn't translate, I didn't adapt it here in English, but I'm gonna translate it to you, like why we want to save the working places when they are not gonna be for the people, but not to save the people themselves. So again, kind of like comparing system as something that is more like just a word, or but not the people. So working places, why we are fighting to save the working places, but not the people. Because, and you could see the the robots and AIs, they're gonna take this working places for sure. In some works, they're a lot better than us. That's our truth. So of course we made a quote because they're kind of most popular and
Did it freeze or just me?
Something wrong, I think.
I think she's now disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vlady got disconnected.
Yeah, she will be back, no problem.
This is very interesting. Very interesting. Very nice work.
Yeah. Dear Ivaldo, are you here?
Vlady.
Vlady is back. Yeah, you are muted, unfortunately.
Unmute your microphone, Vlady. Unmute your microphone.
Taking this opportunity, can I say one thing to Ivaldo? Dear Ivaldo, can you hear me?
Yes.
Dear Ivailo, you know, at Central European Time, 1910, I will open another meeting and you will ease the meeting, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, dear Vlady, please continue. Very interesting presentation.
Thank you. So, yeah. And of course, a few more you could see. I think that Ivo could share you this presentation on PDF to all of who want it. You could see this. We decided also to make a few more visuals with quotes, like one of my favorite, Tony Benn, British politician: if we can find the money to kill people, we can find the money to help people. So, but of course, it's good to use the words of wisdom of your own national heroes, like we decided to use it. Also, we have a really good friend of ours. She's a journalist. She's making researches for us and making some quotations, finding really good quotations. So this key visuals is going to be, we're going to use it even in stage 2, in stage 3, because as I said, it's always working to share words of wisdom, especially if it's for our cause. So, and of course you could see there is 51 shares, and it's like, as I said, they're easily became viral because people are sharing these words of wisdoms, just show that they are also supporting this, and they are also kind of smart.
Dear Vlady, I'm sorry. Are you sharing anything in the screen at the moment? You are referring to something, but I guess you didn't start sharing.
Maybe I didn't start sharing. Yeah,
okay.
I didn't start sharing after the internet dropped. Sorry. Yeah. I just show you a few, like Tony Benn or Alfonso with money poverty is overcome easier. And I was on this slide just showing you that there is like 58 comments, 51 shares, like totally people are just wanted to share it because they like the wisdom behind these words. And of course, there is additional focus on one of the main target groups, Save the Art. I mean, this main target groups, freelancers, stage arts. And of course, the call to actions here is make the first step. And we made a few static visuals. It's because I made it in Canva. It allows me to put a short video in a static image. Maybe I could show you the videos, because in PDF it doesn't allow me. But it's like, first I'm going to show you the visual so you could see that the idea is, with no actors, no culture, make the first step. No musicians, no culture, no dancers, no artists, no writers. So these are, I'm going to show you how let me see. Where is the videos? Did you see the screen right now?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Irene, The actor who is going and
No, there is no actor.
Dear Vlady, I guess you have to stop share and share again, but with that window.
okay, okay,
And
okay.
is there any voice? I mean, is there any?
No.
Just moving. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the video.
Yeah, it's now moving.
It's now moving. Yeah, this is a small videos, as I said, which is they're like 10, 15 seconds, but it's something moving. Of course, you're uploading this on your Facebook page or Instagram profile. It's more interesting than just a regular visual. So that's why we decided to do this. I'm gonna show you another ones like with the dancers. It's the same. Just dragging more attention of the people who are scrolling. They see that there is something moving and it's like stop to watch more. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on with the presentation. There is a few additional materials, also like visuals. This is the same video, but here the message is different. And it's like, make again a difference between and fight with this negative headlines of the mainstream media. That this is not a social assistance, it's a civil dividend. So people who doesn't know what and who didn't read a lot about unconditional basic income, they're just reading the headlines, and most of them are saying that these are actually social assistance, like they gonna make us slaves. They just gives us something small, you know, all this conspiracy theory that is going on right now, that we are going under slavery, and they just give something small. They're gonna take our houses, just gives us social assistance. So I decided to make a special additional material for people to tell them, no, this is not this. This is a civil dividend. We are citizens of this country. We have the right to get our civil dividends. So, and of course, some other additional materials. This is some infographics, how they gonna, how to vote, where to go, how to find it. This is some rules in our pages. And this is what we were doing on first stage in social media platforms. Of course, we decided to make some other activities with a crowdfunding race. There is a UBI raffle game quiz we are posting on our Facebook page, but Ivo, you know about it. Ivo is doing it every 2 days in a week. He's doing it about this lottery. I think that you already know. If not, Ivo's gonna tell you more about it. Of course, we're gonna have a partnership with an influencers on social media, which means the influencers gonna tag our page, share our page in their profiles. They have lots of followers, and we are gaining more and more awareness. I already told you about this partnership with podcasters. It's called one of the main economic magazines here, Banker. Ivo also, this is his contact, he's gonna do it. And partnership and participation with in the lecture forums with I think one university, so Ivo could take a part of it. And of course, partnership with branch organization. Again, we're gonna try, that's why we want more, that's why we made the special materials, especially for the people of art. We're gonna talk again with Unity actors, Unity here, one new organization, which is, they made it at the end of the last year. And it's a white national kind of union organization of all the freelancers. So it's ahead. We're going to have a meeting probably next week. And yeah, after this stage 1, which is going to end March, I hope that we already going to be recognized. We're going to already have recognizability and strong connectivity of this special initiative brand with the European Union. People's gonna see in all our K visuals and images, European Union colors and brands. Of course, we're gonna increase interest and involvement of the subject, and people's gonna be more aware about the idea and the cause. We're gonna have, and we're gonna increase efficiency. It's like in the number of visit of the sites, and we already increased a little bit signatures, collecting signatures. Most important, we're gonna have huge data feedback about this with all these comments and sharings, and we're gonna know how and is it okay to talk with our target groups, with our audience like this, or we have to change something a little or not. And of course, this is really affordable and money-wise way to do all this and use the all the opportunities that social media gives this. And afterwards, we're going to be ready for stage 2. But it's going to be next time. If you are interested, of course, it's going to be continued.
Okay. Thank you, Vlad. Ivan, are you ready to start?
Ivailo, there is a people who wants to ask a question.
No, but we don't have time. Let's Ivan share the things, and after that we will be speaking the end, because it's interesting. And also we can make another Zoom room maybe after some days, because this is the part with Ivan is always very interesting. I want he to have the time.
Okay. Dear Ivailo, maybe can we share the details of a working group study in the chat box now, so that our friends can hear about this also?
Yeah, let's start with Ivan.
Okay. Okay, I will share in the chat box.
Okay.
Hello? Oh. Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent, great. Okay, there shouldn't be any feedback through the microphone. Let me just quickly share screens over here with you. Share screen. Share screen. Excellent. All right. My name is Ivan. We are I'm here to discuss social media strategies and to let you guys know who we are, what we do, and how we can contribute obviously to the process, how our previous experience relates to it, and all that wonderful stuff. You may know us as Human Management Technologies. You might know us as Vilivosoft. You might know us as the INS Group, depending on which continent, which country you might have seen us in. Just a second. Hop. Sorry, the computer jumped a little bit. Right. We have, by building groups based off interests and based off behaviors, we have over 400 million members globally in various categories and groups across the Facebook platforms. That is Facebook, that is Instagram, and to a small degree, it is also WhatsApp. As it says over here, while this may seem amazing at first, it's simply the tip of the iceberg with us. Our team, we are over 80 people in the team globally. One of the reasons why the cause of a unconditional basic income is very important to us is because a large part of our team is freelancers. Our experts include holders in of these fields of diplomas, certificates, etc. As I said, we're over 86 members in the team. Over 90% of our team is works on a freelance or remote or part-time basis. In order to comply with all the necessary data protection laws that are in various countries and various continents, we work on with segmented, anonymized, and pseudonymized information, which means that all the data that we work with is kept private enough. Our guarantees confidentiality both for us, our clients, as well as the public whose data we are busy working with. We've got specialists that have been featured in the Security Hall of Fame of Google and in the Mozilla About Other section. If you open up your Mozilla browser and you type in, as you see at the screen, About Other, there's a whole lot of names. Some of our specialists are in there as well. We have a very unique combination of skills. We have SS7 experts from 3 continents. What SS7 is the language standard that most data communication companies use for roaming. It's a very interesting programming standard because it is actually since the 1970s, and having specialists in that basically puts you that one step ahead of the digital communication companies. We have social engineering specialists, zero-day experts for security uses, Google localization teams for 5 different languages. In other words, members of our team are part of the Google localization team for 5 different languages, including Russian and Bulgarian. In our past, we have worked, we've got social media and media consultants that have worked for political entities and institutions throughout the world. Cyber defense and experts and offense experts, as well as experts sourced from the IAEA, which is a nuclear energy monitoring lobby. Where we stand on social media, well, we've already mentioned the over 400 million members, over 150 million of them are on the European continent. We have our own internal algorithm that has been designed to work together with algorithms like Edge and PageRank. Just a quick overview of that. PageRank is Google's ranking algorithm. This is not to be confused with the pages in a page. It's actually named after one of the creators of Google, Larry Page. It's named after him. And the Facebook equivalent of that is called Edge, EDGE. On a weekly basis, we work through a lot of traffic. Those numbers will be brought up a little later in the presentation as well. The size of humanity basically that we work with as far as data and public and targeting traffic, etc., that we work with, basically allows us a wide enough coverage of the general public to be able to target fans and followers outside of our own clients' range. without the need to be administrators or even be on their pages. This is simply something that happens as a result of growth in size, as eventually in the robot's logic, you already got access to everyone. We might as well let you have access to everyone. It's illogical at first, but unfortunately that's how machine logic works. It's got its drawbacks, i.e. bugs and things, but it's got its positives, i.e. advantages such as this. Our system of measuring trends and the quality of content is unique in the industry. Every piece of content we do put up is checked by a machine, is checked against Edge's requirements, specifically because we are speaking in this case about social media marketing. For your security, for our security, for everyone's security really, and in order to comply with local regulations, we don't keep copies of your content, files, data, or contracts, which is, which basically means that whatever our creative team for the universal, for the unconditional basic income cause, whatever the creative team creates, you can rest assured that the originals and copies thereof that we have worked and adapted with are not available for anybody else to steal from us and use. It's the only copy that remains is obviously with the lady that was speaking before me, basically. We provide Facebook administrators. We have over 1,200 profiles inside the Facebook and Instagram echo chamber, and these identities have been established, have got all the necessary confirmations, including the ability to add the infamous gray tick to pages dealing in political and social issues, which is something that the unconditional basic income would fall under in the European aspect of things, and therefore the Facebook platforms would require you to have the infamous gray tick. What that basically means is that you are allowed as a page, now you need the administrator and you need the page itself both to be certified for this by Facebook in order to be allowed to run political and or social issue ads. That is paid marketing through Facebook, whereby you finally get Facebook on your side. We've been doing this on various social media platforms for over 9 years. We've been working on Facebook since 2008. Our expertise in social media marketing comes as a result of our expertise in security inside the social media space. Now, part of our unique approach as far as online interactions and obviously reaching the public that we need to reach in order to get the number of signatures we need to reach is our ability to target people in a very, very minute kind of way. One of the ideas we currently toying with is the idea of one of the main targets of initial campaigns being people we know for a fact are already activists or active, people that do have a history of participating in petitions and signing up things like what we are busy trying to get them to sign. Now, you may wonder to yourself, now, how would you possibly have that information? Well, we don't have that information. Facebook has that information for us. This brings me to what I will show you next. We internally call it our shopping list. Really isn't a shopping list, it's a rather disturbing piece of documentation. It is I have provided a link in here as well for you guys to check it out at your own time and space. It is the data usage policies of Instagram. These apply to Facebook, these apply to Instagram, these apply to WhatsApp. We simply happen to pull up the Instagram version of it. It's the same wording. This is a section, just a small section out of the entire document, which just quickly will give you an idea of how come we can get that kind of targeting capacity. The information that Facebook collects from you includes, and I will, over here, let me just quickly have a look. You can see my mouse, as I assume. Over here where it says device operations, information about operations and behaviors performed on the device, such as whether a Windows is foregrounded or backgrounded, mouse movements, which can help distinguish humans from bots. What does this mean? This means that as long as you logged into your Facebook or Instagram account on your computer or your cell phone, Facebook is collecting information, even if you've minimized it, unless you're fully logged out of your account. Facebook and Instagram are collecting information such as mouse movements, keystrokes, etc. You worried about a hacker putting a keylogger? Well, you've officially agreed to Facebook having a keylogger on your system anyway. Other interesting bits are the networks and connections section, which now you may have heard hackers using network sniffers, which allow them to know what networks you've gone near, and even if you have never connected to them, while you've already agreed in the user agreement that Facebook and Instagram can do the very same to you. So now, when they already collect the information, cookie data, history data of your browsing, what it's used for, what it's really used for advertising. They even collect your face recognition information if you are using it on a mobile device or a device with a camera. They use it for product research and development, for ads and sponsor content. This is where we come in. All of the frightening information you will find, I will provide the link for you here. All of the frightening information you will find that may make you never want to use these platforms again works to our advantage, because when we know that this information is collected and we know how to target specifically by this information, we're able to target people who, let's say, on a day when there was a big drive for people to go and sign in person at the parliament or at the court, wherever you might have had a big rally for that, people that came within the networks in that area, they would get that message, they would get marketing from us. These are people that we know for a fact have already gone to sign a petition in person. If they're going to go out of the way in person to sign, they certainly wouldn't mind signing something online, especially something that really fits in with the current social movement of the entire world, which honestly, other than the points discussed a little earlier about former communist countries, really the rest of Europe is ready to support something like this already. As far as the content that goes through, as we mentioned, we have a very unique measuring system for content, which counts everything down to every single letter, every single word being used. There are some examples of it in action over here. You can see it gives you word counts. It tells you which words and which combination of words and letters might be repeated too many times. Why? Well, because the bots, the edge bots, like to see certain mathematical facts as far as how words work. Now, if you notice over here in yellow is highlighted the word sewage cleanup. If you have a keyword like that repeated too many times in a certain amount of words, obviously this will be a problem. You'll get marked as being too spammy. However, our system allows us to use something called an Ascii table, where we can use letters that look like letters, but to the computer that look like a number. It's a really complicated thing. If you want to have a look, it's ASCII, that is Alpha Sierra Charlie Indigo Indigo. Those are the tables. You just have a look at Ascii tables. You can get more familiar with what's going on and how they work and all of that. But basically, just to shorten it out, these particular Ascii tables, which you can go and find out about, is what we use in order to make sure there's no overloading of keywords and things like that. This way, when the creative team knows that the certain word needs to be repeated 10 times, but the technical team knows that repeating it more than 3 times within that text will be seen as spam, the creative team can still create their content for the human eye with the 10 repetitions. The technical team goes in and makes sure that the computer only counts the repetitions that are counted, and let's say out of the 10 deducts 7 by using Ascii tables. That allows you to have it perfectly done for the human eye without worrying about the bot itself noticing that maybe you are propagating. There's some more on how the system itself works. Now, this is just over 600 million impressions, is the number of traffic that goes through us on a weekly basis. It's because we're using the processes and the structure that we use is very similar to what you call a shared economy, whereby we are the administrative section of that shared economy, and that's where in the administrative charges within the shared economy would go. This allows us to process more traffic and to be allowed access to more human eyes by the platforms than just about anyone else, short of the richest, biggest companies in the world who might on their own have a reason to target 600 million people in a single week, which doesn't happen. To be honest, the highest seen was 130 million being targeted at once, and that was by Electronic Arts during a game launch. We all know the gaming industry is about as big as Hollywood, so that's not unexpected as far as marketing capacities. Now, that is not to say we're looking at targeting all 617 million people with information on unconditional basic income, but we are certainly to have a few thousand or a few 100,000 at least that are already fans of this, that would go out of the way to support us. But that's not the, as I mentioned already, that's not the end all and be all of our targeting capacities, is we're able to target people on the sheer basis of have they before been active, have they signed petitions, people that we know we can get signatures out of. Our magic items, as we mentioned, these are profiles that have been confirmed in every possible way through the Facebook systems, way before confirming new profiles became as tricky as it is now. Now they ask for pictures of your IDs and things like that. About 10 years ago, they did not, and that's when we created enough profiles to be able to run the highest level of marketing campaigns by having all of them inside one cluster. As I mentioned, that's the market model of a shared economy. You can have a look more about that out there online. There's enough information on how a shared economy works. All of our profiles have dedicated devices, which means that you cannot have somebody hack and steal your profiles or steal your data or target the people you are targeting. Everything is securely locked up on a device that is securely controlled. Our clientele includes banks, and small, medium business, national and regional security agencies. We've had people from our team that have actually gone to teach people from the FBI on how to do digital security, FMCG companies, healthcare manufacturers and suppliers, members of various parliaments. This is a very quick breakdown of how many sort of page likes we can expect from Bulgaria alone on the Facebook page. Obviously, currently the Facebook page still will need the great tick to be allowed to advertise on political and social issues. And as you can see, it's all fairly low priced. This next slide, what's very interesting is this is the entrance to using Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp's artificial intelligence. I know we mentioned artificial intelligence is pushing people out of the workplace, but over here, artificial intelligence will help us push people towards us. Resources that we can use, there's all sorts of information that Facebook collects, and we can make basically the bots learn an audience and actively go and seek out people from around the world that match requirements. Let's say the requirements is this person has signed a petition before. Facebook already has everybody's search history, and they can say to you, here's 1,000, here's 10,000, here's 1,000,000 people that have signed petitions before. What have you got to show them? Which is where our creative team, the lady that spoke before me, their creative teams obviously the results would be sent out to the wider public using this system, using AI, and making sure that the robots are on our side and that we can get the most out of this possible. We are able to target people not only by whether they've done petitions, but also by what sort of work field they're in. As we mentioned, artists would be very much on supporting this. We can target artists specifically. We can target activists specifically. We can target activist journalists specifically. we are focusing on social media platforms because traditional media is at this point a business, and in many countries you can actually tell who owns the media, and they will only support the message that is supported by whichever party the owner is affiliated in. America gets accused to a certain degree of doing that with Fox News and CNN and all that, but the fact is this is how it is with newspapers, with videos, with TVs all over the European continent. These things toe a party line, these things follow somebody's instructions, and therefore you cannot have the freedom of expression or the freedom to even reach the audience with your message without the message getting turned around and turned upside down at least twice before it reaches the people. Through social media channels, where we are larger than most of these media companies, we are able to reach the public directly using wording, using topics, using imagery that works on them direct. Because over here we have to keep one bot happy. That's it. We have to keep just bot happy in order for it to allow us to be seen by the maximum number of people. With the TV, you have to keep many people happy. You have to probably bribe somebody just to get your message out there. This is why social media platforms such as Facebook, such as Instagram, such as YouTube, these are the way to get to the public. These are also the way to get to the public if you are going to be doing fundraising, as this is the kind of topic where fundraising can be done quite successfully through social media channels, through crowdfunding channels and things like that. We have experience with that. We have experience with causes at a European level. Let me just see if this is in the next, right, yes. Okay, now just a quick change to the topic of GDPR. Everybody is aware of this regulation that came into Europe several years ago. Currently, just to explain, we were involved in the creation of the GDPR, in suggesting ideas for how it should be structured from the very beginning, before it even became a regulation. We have, since its realization, we are currently the only cyber risk management team which is a full member of FERMA, which is the European Risk Management Associations Federation. Our team features the first holder of a REMAP certificate, that is a risk certificate that is carried. Our team developed a framework for compliance and management for the GDPR, as well as a directive called NIS, alongside with companies like Chase, Airbus, Deutsche Bank, the European Commission of Internal Auditors, and the Federation of European Risk Management Associations. The framework was officially requested by the EU Parliament. There was a budget set for it and everything. It was completed and presented to them on the 29th of June 2017, around 16:15, in room Jan 6Q1 in Brussels, hosted by the member of European Parliament called Antanas Guogas. No other GDPR solution provider on the market in Europe can confidently say that they're working with a process that has received the same level of acceptance at the EU Parliament level. What this basically points out, and here's our reference over here as well, what this basically points out is our level of involvement and our capacity to get noticed by the European Parliament, our experience in working and getting things there and getting attention from there and really putting things into action, and those actions actually having discernible results, such as being involved in influencing how a regulation may work. We are actually in the current moment also busy right here with the European Data Protection Board. They have put out a call for feedback on what an example of data breach notification should look like, to get some shall we call it template for that. We have been invited once again to give our opinion on this, and again, this just goes further to affirm for you the depth and level of experience we have with working on important public matter causes at the European level on topics that may not be understood widely at this point in time, because believe me, back in 2015, nobody understood what the GDPR was about before it was put together, because it wasn't put together. In fact, all the way back to 2016, 2017, the majority of governments and corporations in Europe still had no idea what this regulation was all about, because suddenly data privacy became a thing. It was never a problem back in 2005, but suddenly by 2015, within a 10-year period, it would become a serious critical thing to consider for every company. And much like the your unconditional basic income may not be something everybody currently understands, but it is something that within the next several years needs to be on the tip of the tongue of everybody in the European Union and beyond. In the US, they're already pushing talks about it, and in Europe, we must be as well. Our team of specialists also includes Brittany Kaiser. You may or may not have seen the movie The Great Hack. It is a Netflix original. This was about the Cambridge Academia Analytica, the Cambridge Analytica leak, and the amount of data and the terrible data abuse that they were busy doing. We have been partnered with her since she was an intern in Obama's first cabinet. And this is the level of freelancers and specialists we have, where these people are within, let's say, within the social life of today, where they are on the hot button topics such as unconditional basic income and all sorts of other systemic questions. The reason I bring that up is because there was a question of, in Bulgaria and other places in Europe as well, the main media may want to step on us, may want to say terrible things, the headlines are bad and this and that and the third thing, which is all very good because the people have started to not trust mainstream media. That is a global phenomenon. People are trusting more the nonsense on Facebook than the nonsense of TV. Meanwhile, they're both equally nonsense, but it doesn't matter. The people have learned to distrust the TV, to distrust the newspaper, and to actually start getting their information and their facts through a digital pathway, which leaves us with the question of how in a digital way can we build the most authority for ourselves. Well, this is where we can provide an option whereby our creative team can create a video, much like the short clips we saw now, perhaps obviously a much longer one, create a small documentary on this topic. And once that documentary is created by the unconditional basic income's design and art team that will design the video that will make it, our team can then proceed and turn that into a Prime Video original to Amazon. And when you have your documentary be a original Amazon documentary, that will give it that extra little bit of weight as far as being considered legitimate by the wider public. Because saying, here's our documentary on this we put up on YouTube is one thing. Here's our Amazon Prime original documentary is an entirely different thing altogether. And this is basically how we can use technology, we can leverage technology, we can leverage our vast amounts of experience and our massive reach of public eyes to really make the unconditional basic income the hot topic that it needs to globally be. That's it from me. Thank you. Why is it black now? What? Okay. That's it from anybody questions, anything?
Yes, thank you, Ivan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that we need to explain a little bit more about what you are telling, because actually we can succeed very easy with your helps, but I think that not many of us understand rightly. Maybe we need to have one more meeting. And I wanted to ask you to say something about the crowdfunding. Are you ready to tell something?
Well, as far as crowdfunding, I mean, as I said, this is a hot topic. And as far as crowdfunding goes, I believe we can reach some pretty decent targets. Really depends on sitting down and deciding what it is we want to target, what it is we want to achieve. Do we want to, let's say, raise 100,000 euros to put towards marketing, or do we want to raise €1,000,000 to put towards the entire thing? Do we want to do several smaller campaigns of a couple of 100,000 euros? Do we want to do one campaign for 1,000,000 or 2 or 3? Because the people of the world will be willing to give to this.
Okay, thanks.
Obviously, for the
Now,
crowdfunding, we'd also need to decide, because crowdfunding's got a very key moment of kickbacks. We would have to decide what kind of thing we offer the people. Obviously, for over a certain amount deposited, maybe they get a badge that, like, I supported unconditional basic income, or that type of thing. Something. I think the thank you notes of the crowdfunding that would be, I think, would be best if they're designed by Vlady, because they have the creative capacity. We are a team of nerds. We can do things technically. We are not creative. We cannot make something pretty or exciting. We can just simply get it out there.
okay, thanks. I'll be give chance now the other people to ask, and I will speak with the ECI core team, and maybe we need to have one special appointment with you about all these things, because we will be success with your help. Angel? Angel?
Yes.
Can, if somebody want to ask some question, because there with this, just can you allow who wants to ask something can be asking Ivan or Vlady, because we have 20 minutes.
Okay. Before was Eva Maria wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Eva Maria?
Yeah, first thing what I saw in Vlady and Ivan presentation too, that they always said unconditional basic income. And I think this is very important that we learn too, that don't say UBI, we should say exactly unconditional basic income. So I think is very important. Thank you.
Yes, we always in our visuals and our headlines, we are writing all of it, unconditional basic income. I'm using UBI from time to time in my patient in front of you, but not in the K visuals or any other communication materials that we are writing or roll out publicly. For me, it's also really, really important. So thank you for this comment of your site. Yeah, it is really important.
A question from me. You mainly spoke about Facebook and Instagram, but you didn't speak nothing about Twitter or Google Ads, for example.
Twitter is a good channel, but unfortunately here in Bulgaria, according to our data that we have, Bulgarians are prefer to use Instagram and Facebook, especially for social media channels. Twitter is not so popular here, so that's why we are not using Twitter. I said YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel official also on the page, and we are posting there this video materials, some documentaries right now, just adapted and subtitled, because we still don't have our own production to upload it. But that's why we just skip Twitter as a channel, because for our market, it's not important communication channel.
On our side, the Twitter and YouTube really are our fourth and fifth priority. In the European continent, really in first place are kind of interchangeably depending on where you're going. In first place are Instagram and Facebook. In after them is, believe it or not, TikTok, and only then Twitter at a European level. Now, if we're talking about the United States as a main target, then Twitter would obviously have to be very key, even above the level of Facebook, because that's where Twitter is really in the lead. In Europe, Instagram and Facebook have got the lead. Yes, YouTube, we must have content on there. Yes, Twitter, we must have some presence on there, but pushing to reach a maximum number of audience, to get a maximum number of interest in those platforms at a European Union kind of level isn't as key as pushing for Facebook, Instagram, and like I said, TikTok to a lesser degree, because we want to, you see, ideally what we want to do is we want to get the public in the places where they mostly are, do some fundraising, and then only approach the secondary, tertiary, etc. channels. Ideally, yes, in the long run, we should be present in all of those places, but to begin with a maximum swing campaign on all of those would make it financially impossible. And so they are on the list, but they're kind of further down the list than Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok, which, like I said, it's further down at European level.
And what about Google Ads, for example? Google Ads reach a lot of people all over the world.
It's more Google Ads. It's used more about PR materials or articles, or we could use this, but in a PR way of communication. I mean, it's really good and great way to get to the audience, but in a main visual communication, Google Ads, it's not our channel. It's additional channel to the main channels.
The thing is, Google Ads can be useful for business, much like banners on websites. But the fact is, internally in the industry, we have a joke about banners. For example, we call them the James Bond ads. Why James Bond ads? Because the conversion rate on Google just a second. The conversion rate on banner ads is 0.007. You see, the conversion rate inside social media when it is on a hot topic that is related to the person, and this is our ability to measure the quality of each ad, to say, hey, this is highly related to what the people want to see. This is less highly related to what this group of people want to see. With our targeting capacity, the response per number of reached people, the response per number of spending really is better through social media channels. Google Ads is great for business. If you're looking for people to come and buy something, but it's not really that widely used for causes. And so, yes, I really would not hurry for Google Ads for a cause, for a business. Yes, it can be useful to come out in results, over competitors and everything else. But let's face it, how many competitors could we possibly have that are also trying to run a cause about unconditional basic income? It's just us.
Thank you for your answers.
You're welcome.
Some other questions? Andrew, Eva Maria, some.
Yes.
Are you understanding what is the suggestions that we are giving?
Sorry, I always have something to say.
Okay.
First, a little summarizing, that I heard this time here now, Vlady and Ivan, and they give a very, very interesting presentation. Okay, Vlady, I understood more. But I would like to say that how interesting that what kind of work you put on the table just to try to push the people that, come on, you get money, do something. It is unbelievable. Okay, this is all nothing.
It is.
It is true.
Are you expecting for me to talk?
No, sorry, it's nothing from me. I just wanted to say, you know, a little on this side, on the Margo. I wanted to say a few sentences. This is all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to ask something, Anjo and Eva Maria and Klaus. Klaus?
Yes, Ivalo, yes.
The question is, my feelings is that we need to make one meeting together, DESI core group with Vlady and Ivan, just to explain more, and especially Ivan to explain about the possibility, how easy we can make the crowdfunding to collect money and to make campaigning not only for the European Union, but also all over the world with this money.
Would be great. Would be great.
Yeah, we
This
can
is-
definitely schedule something.
This is my feelings, because we have a lot of time to succeed with the crowdfunding and with the money for the campaign.
It would be nice if we can make it.
Yes, from my point of view, we had made a very bad experience with crowdfunding because we have not achieved our aim and the money was lost. And the efforts given in this project was very high. So from my point of view, I don't like crowdfunding anymore, but certainly it is different and everybody can do it if you like, yes.
You mean, Klaus, also like a raffle? We don't, you don't like...
No. That is a different situation. There we have a clear distinction, expectation and so on and so on. And there we don't lose money. But if you have a normal crowdfunding platform and you some project, and for example, you say you will get 300,000 signatures, and then you get only half, then lose all the half money you have given back. And that is terrible, because the money which we have used to get at least the half of them was our money. So in my opinion, I'm like crowdfunding anymore, but it's only my personal experience, but not related to our raffle concept for the European raffle. So I'm completely in favor of that.
Okay, good that you say that, because actually we all have a bad experience with crowdfunding, with the UBI. So I thought about the raffle. That's why I said it would be good when Ivailo arranged this. But otherwise, crowdfunding, I don't like either.
But you didn't work with the right people. Maybe Ivan need to explain to you that you'll be very successful.
Can talk about, but I'm always afraid if something goes on with money, you know.
Of course, but obviously, look, there are ways you go into crowdfunding, and one of the ways you go into crowdfunding is by making sure you're going to get your target and then only really counting on what comes in over your target. We have done several campaigns where the campaign is, let's say, for a couple of grand, we get that funded and all that. It's way to really get something is after you've got it fully funded. And so first step in the crowdfunding is you don't put €1 million as your target for your crowdfunding. You have it in your internal team that this is what we are aiming for, but in your crowdfunding, you don't put that. There's an entire process to it that needs to be followed in order to guarantee success. because all the amount of creativity and for advertising and all that isn't going to have the same effects as doing this correctly. And yes, if it means you must pull a little bit of a wool over the public's eyes in order to succeed, at the end of the day, we're trying to change all their lives for the better. So if we've got to lead them to the water, if we've got to lead that horse to the water, then we do that. So definitely, I think your first issue the last time you did crowdfunding is that you probably set a number that you were hoping to achieve rather than a number you already knew you were going to achieve, and then to pull in over that. Because what you have to remember is, if you have a 1,000 euro campaign and that 1,000 euro campaign gets funded in full, but you have set it to sit there for 2 months, it will sit there after that for 2 months. But the platform, well, the platform wants to push forwards and push up, saying these are the people that have already been fully funded and they've gone over what they're looking to be funded. You are much more likely to get the platform to do extra marketing for you if you are targeting only 1,000 euros and you already collected 5, rather than be one who is targeting 100,000 euros but has only collected 95. And so, like I said, there is actually a process to be done there. There is a step by step to it that needs to go in. And so perhaps the last time you did this, you did not have us around.
I think I'm a wrong person for this because for me, like a Chinese, you know, and when you talk about money, I have no idea. Sorry, I am really ashamed, you know, but we need somebody who really understands money, how to make I don't know, you know, when we make an advertising, you know, to take the pictures and so on, I said, okay, I give us some money and let's do it. But to collect money or to raise money, I am not comfortable with this. I don't know, maybe
something to be discussed.
Maybe we should make a group, you know, who look after this this money business. In
somebody must be there to do that, yeah.
Yes, in our team. So I am not against it, but I personally, I am really, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about ECI law, but we have to put together a team who really look after how to get some money for our campaign.
We'll be speak for this, Eva Maria, maybe tonight after this meeting, because now we have meeting 8:30. Angel, if somebody want to ask something, can ask, or otherwise I can take say thank you to Vlady, and I can say thank you to Ivan, and also say thank you to you, Tali, and we can close this meeting because of
and thank
after
you for
30
you.
minutes we have another meeting.
Yes, and thank you for you, Ivailo.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
It was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you for the Bulgarian team.
Thank you.
Really interesting.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You are
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Have a
Bye.
good